Hi, we're here today as part of the Arizona Drag Racers Hall of Fame series we have called Arizona Drag Racing Legends. And today we have
Euell Barnes
of, where are you from?
from Chandler, Arizona.
Been there for a while?
Oh, forever.
Forever. So you're here because you've been part of our drag racing history and a lot of great cars and also a lot of great fun and great memories of it. And we'd like to, ask you a few questions about what got you into racing and what your memories are and what your takeaways are and anything else you want to say. This is going to be an interesting time because I know that you have a lot of good history in our state. So, when you started, what was the first drag race you attended? Do you remember?
Oh, you go backwards, and the first time I got to messing with the cars, I had a Model A, and I cut the top off so it was a roadster, and then put a small V8 in it. And Mom said, you can drive it around the farm, Euell, but you can't drive it to town. Well, hell, we drove it to town, of course, and coming back, then there was a big low spot in the road, and we swerved to miss it and rolled the damn thing over. And my brother was with me, and another kid was with me, and they had asphalt rash, and I wound up with a ruptured intestine and I had to go to the hospital. And then from then on, I just always messed with cars. We were partners with Jim Simpson and on a dragster for years, and he would take it back east and run it. And then we had one time we had well, in 1956 actually, we raced at Perryville. We raced against Johnny Loper, and he had a 56 black and white four-door car with a Corvette motor in it that you could buy then, and I had one too, and raced with him. And then we went from there to racing with Jim Simpson, and Jimmy Miller, my cousin, was involved in it. And we just went on from there and raced at Perryville and raced at Beeline. And we had a little dragster one time that was a small block Chevy with a 350 in it with a 671 blower on it. And it weighed about 800 pounds wet on the starting line. And we'd always run Steiniger and Ischenbaugh, and we'd always beat them to the three-quarter point, and then they'd fly by you like you stopped. So,
the power of a larger motor.
Power of the Hemi.
Yeah.
And we've raced with this stuff all of our life, and it's just been an important thing, and we met a lot of wonderful people, and actually more than missing the drag race, I miss the fine people I met. So
The people are always a big part of the deal. It's, we get together with people and it's the takeaway when you're finished racing, the friendships don't stop.
Yeah.
And that's one of my my favorite things about this whole
going
group.
backwards in that time era. We met Howard Johansson and Larry Dixon, and just met a lot of good people.
When you first started racing, where was your first drag strip you went to or drag event?
Oh, it would have been Perryville in 56, 57, somewhere in there.
And that was from Chandler. That was
Chandler.
down county roads, though, all the way from Chandler out to.
Yeah, but there wasn't hardly any traffic. You could make it in about 30 minutes at that time, and now it'd take hours.
Now you're on the freeway, and it takes hours to get there. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So I don't know. We've seen a lot. Like I said, I think one year they finished the race at a Great Bend, Kansas, and they had the Bustle Bomb there, and I don't remember who the other car was. Some car out of California, and it rained on them in Kansas, so they couldn't finish the race. So then they finished it at Perryville.
The U.S. Nationals.
U.S. Nationals.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Bustle Bomb was there. I can't remember who the other car was. It was somebody out of California because they were both California cars, and I think of course the Chrysler won. The Bustle Bomb had a Cadillac engine in it and an Oldsmobile engine. It had two engines in it. So
wow. So
it's been interesting, and we met a lot of good people. Dean Turk, and just a lot of good people. Steiniger and Ischenbaugh and Jim Stewart. just a lot of wonderful people and wonderful times.
The the tracks that you raced at here in Arizona in and around, did anyone stand out in particular as your good memories or short-lived track that you, besides Perryville, that?
Well, I would say that Beeline was probably our best track. We actually had that CAD's racing deal in Chandler, and we did a drag strip out there for a while. And there's Chandler Associated Drag Races, and Jackie Sneff helped set that up, and actually we had a strip at one time at Deer Valley, and Jackie Sneff helped set that up.
So there were, at one time there were quite a few more drag strips definitely than we have,
Yeah.
unfortunately, than we have now.
At one time, before Perryville, there was actually a strip at Gilbert that they raced at. I don't remember exactly where it was at, but I remember going over there with my brother. But that's about all the strips we've had around here, and they've all been a good time. We met so many good people. It just hard to lose all the effects of it.
When you think back about the cars you've had, you started off with Simpson, and then I know you've had several other teams and groups of people that you've raced with and had good times with.
Yeah.
What's your get?
Oh, another one that we raced with was Bones. I was with him all my life, but I never remember his real name. We just called him Bones. I remember one time we went to Long Beach, and we had a 361 Chrysler in it, and everybody else was running the bigger ones, and we raced down through there one time, and we were at the finish line, and we come back, and we were pushing back, and a small block Chevy come down through there with nitro running nitro, and actually blew the crank clear out of the car, and different things like that. We just, like I say, we met so damn many good people.
Did you race often in California?
No, not too much. At Pomona some, and Pomona mainly, and mostly Pomona, but not very many times at Pomona until later when Finley and me and Pollock had the race car. We raced at Pomona some then, and at Tucson. We raced down at Tucson some.
So do you remember racing Arizona, your favorite state? You wouldn't be here so long if it wasn't. And do you remember what your attitude when you raced? Was it fun to beat somebody from California?
Oh yeah, it was always fun to win.
Yeah, but did it have? I would think that Arizona being the baby state, when you started, racing, Arizona was the newest state still.
Yeah.
As it was the 48 state, there wasn't 50 states yet, and so I think people look down on Arizona and its ability and its talent, where truth be told, there are quite a few talented people that came out of Arizona to go racing elsewhere that all got their starts here. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the great story of our state. Tell me about racing with Mike Finley and the gang.
Well, let me go back a little bit before that.
Okay.
Years ago, when we were with Bones, we went to California and raced over there, and McEwen had set it up as a race championship between Arizona and California, and Steininger and them went. And in fact, I think that was Steininger was the first one. Ischenbaum and Steininger were the first ones over 200, and I think it was at Long Beach, and just a lot of good things.
Good memories.
Oh, a lot of good memories. So McEwen set that all up, and I don't remember who won or who didn't win, but in those days you didn't have all the technology you have today, and you're just doing everything by hand and thought, and it all worked out pretty good. It's like I say, it's the best of the time as far as I'm concerned.
So McEwen, that was before he was even the mongoose. It was just.
Oh, that would have been about right. About before him and that was before him and Perdome were hooked up. That was probably, that could have been 10 or 12 or 15 years ahead of that.
So this is back when drag racing there wasn't a lot of big money in it. There wasn't.
No, but everybody, what was fun about it then is everybody everybody worked on their car all night and then worked all day and didn't have any sponsors, so whatever you did is what you had. And everybody worked hard, and now it's got to be such a commercial sponsor deal that's unbelievable.
So the car with bones, how quick did that run? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. That's so long ago.
Okay, but it seemed like back in the day that was like as fast as they're going to go, and
Well, like our little small block, it was a 300 incher with a 471 blower on it, and it would run about 165 or 67, and it would run about a 860. I remember we went to Pomona with it one time, and it was when NHRA let nitro come back in. They put a ban on nitro for a certain amount of time, and then Gartlett's came in there, and we were there, and Gartlett's had the nitro Chrysler, and he ran like a 810 or 830, and we were running 860s with a small block Chevy.
that'd feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like Garlett's, you've seen a lot of the big names, in the other lane and at races you've attended.
One time, go backwards, I remember when they had Gartlett's come from Florida, because he always had the speed record and everything, and nobody believed it. And so they went to Bakersfield and ran, and I don't know how he ran at Bakersfield, but he didn't win, I don't think. Then he went from there to Eskandarians, and then he put the first blower on. And then he came to Chandler, and we had a guy taking him, and Gartlett's had a rat trap of a car. It was just, everybody had what they had, and the guy taking it wasn't going to let him run, and he says, I don't give a damn whether you let me run or not. They already paid me my $500. So
He was the swamp rat because of the way his cars looked, and came out of the swamp in Florida, and
he was an innovator.
yes, he was. Did other people along the way that you met that that were? I know that in the early days before he moved to California and did a lot of innovation. Bruce Crowder was actually from the Valley of the Sun, from the Phoenix area. Other people like that that you use their technologies back in the day, the technology of a clutch or a
Howard Johansson was probably an important part of my life, and he was always good to me. And he came to Chandler to race at the CADs. He had that twin engine car, and I remember they were running it, and they were running Dale Grantham with his flathead nitro dragster, and the Chevy, I think one motor died, and they clutched it and got it going again. And Grantham said he passed him so bad, he said, I thought I'd stop my car and step out. So, just a lot of, like I say, a lot of good memories, a lot of special memories, special people.
So moving forward, you've been doing it for quite a while. So at Beeline, what cars did you race out at Beeline?
Well, we raced the Cotton King out there, and we raced the small block Chevy out there, and we raced that 800-pound car out there too on nitro.
The Cotton King, that's really was one of the big coalitions of talented people from Chandler.
Yeah, it was myself and Mike Finley, and Barry helped us, and Rick helped us on it, and Steve Pollock was the partners with me on a harvest operation, and he helped us, and we just had a lot of good people work on it, a lot of good people around it.
So it was a beautiful car. I remember that.
A very pretty car.
It was stunning, one of the nicest cars in the country. But it was
Thank you.
unique. It had innovation.
In fact, about 3 days ago, I had a guy call me from Indianapolis, and he had been talking to Larry Dixon, which, Larry Sr. and Larry Jr., and they were both champions, and he had found the fins that go on the, what do you call them, Rick? They're
Wheel fairings.
wheel fins
Right.
on that we had on our Cotton King car, and he said, would you like to have them? I said, well, I've kind of been out of it. He said, I said, how did you get those? He said, well, we went to Bakersfield, to the big Bakersfield meet, and bought them at a swap meet. And so brought them back here, and then a guy made some out of, these were out of aluminum, a guy made some out of fiberglass. So I said, no, I think I'm going to pass. I'm kind of got away from a lot of that and went into cars, into street rod cars, and then had about 10 of those, and then I sold all of them out but one.
So before, I want to know about your street rod passion, but the Cotton King. The name Cotton King was from back in the day. King Cotton was the driving.
Well, we were picking a lot of cotton in those days, and we had a lot of machines, and one time we ran 100 pickers in South Texas picking cotton, and so it was associated with cotton to us, so we just named it the Cotton King.
That's cool. The car itself, though, I remember it, and it tells it was constructed instead of with four frame rails in the front, it had three.
Yeah.
What was the thinking on that?
I don't know, but it wasn't a good idea. It was damn sure a bad idea, and that one was supporting everything, and it actually broke in Pomona.
Right.
And it was really a dumb idea. And Atterbury made the car, but
Right.
it was just things were progressive then, and they were trying to make things different and better, and
So
they did a lot of things, but that wasn't a good idea.
so you race that in alcohol and top fuel?
Yeah, alcohol and top fuel. Started off with a 454, and then went to a Chrysler, and then went to nitro. We raced at Pomona with it. The first time we raced it, first time we got the car together, we went to Tucson and started it in Tucson, and the second time we went to Pomona. In fact, Atterbury drove the car, and we wound up running to the semifinals and then got beat by Enriquez and Adams,
Wow.
and they won the meet. So
Great names in the drag
good
racing.
names, yeah.
So it started off as an alcohol car, had the 3 bars or the 3 rails.
Yeah.
Then you went to top fuel with it.
Mm-hmm.
And was it there you discovered that perhaps the 3 rails weren't, or was it still an alcohol car?
Oh, it just was an idea that they came up with, and we ran with it all the time, and we never did change the car on that 3 rail deal. A guy should have, because that one rail supported everything. With the 2 rails, you had 2 rails supporting everything, which is a double deal. But the car ran good, looked good, and it was really a nice car.
Beautiful car. Beautiful. Whatever happened to that car?
Well, my partner sold it, spent all the damn money, and then he bought it back, and then he sold it again, and I don't know where it went from
Lost
there.
track of it. We'll have to track that partner down and see what he.
There you
okay.
go.
Sounds like a nefarious character to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's wild.
Yes, yeah. So after you got out of drag racing, but you still felt the passion for cars. You're definitely a car guy.
Oh yeah.
So you said you started saying you had some hot rods.
A lot
and
of
such.
street rods and messed with street rods, and just always a car passion. To me, it was nothing more fun than messing with a street rod or a dragster. Still, again, it all goes back to you met a lot of wonderful people.
That's the common factor I think that we're going to find as we do this series with the Drag Racing Legends. Is really more about the cars. I mean, the people than the cars, but the cars were the
Right.
vehicle that got us there.
I telling somebody the other day, I says, I miss drag racing, but more than missing drag racing, I miss the fine people I met.
Amen to that. I believe that. So.
And, Howard Johansson, and you went to L.A. in '58 and stayed at Howard Johansson's house. How much better could it get?
I'm trying to remember one of the cars that, because I was a big fan, it was started going out to Beeline in the early 70s, but I just seem to remember that you were you guys were the Arizona version of the Howard Camp Special.
Yeah.
That's what you always listed that as your sponsor.
Yeah.
So you must have had a great passion and a great relationship with them. So.
Well, we did. Howard came to race at CADS and had that twin engine car, and he stayed right there on the street in Chandler, Main Street in Chandler, at a little motel, and parked the car right out front. And I stopped and saw him, and I said, I had a '58 Vet I was driving. I stopped and saw him, and my wife to be was with me, And told Howard, I says, heck, why don't you bring it down? My mom just lives down the street here. Bring it down, just park it in the garage. Oh, no, it'll be all right, Euell. And we left there, and I told her, he'll give me a cam. And I'll be damned if he didn't give me a cam.
Wow. And it was
We were friends ever since.
and it worked well.
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful people.
Well, Howard Cams is a company is still in business.
No,
Yeah,
they've sold it. The family, Howard died, and in fact, I went to the funeral, and Eskandarian was there and at Howard's house, and then they kind of dwindled it down, and then they sold the camshaft business off into back east somewhere.
They're based in Chicago, and they're
Yeah.
doing very, very well right now.
Right.
The
And,
name still lives.
Bobby Johansson was running it, and then I think Bobby died a while back, and it just kind of dissolved.
Mhm.
And the one son was working for one of the sons was working for Herbert at one time, and
Chet Herbert.
and I think he's still doing some stuff, but I don't know exactly what. In fact, Jerry Johansson went away quite a bit before that, and then when Howard went away, Jerry Johansson ran the shop, and it ran quite well. And then after that, he went away, and it kind of just dissolved away.
It's a shame because as a driving force, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been great having you here today. We really appreciate getting a chance to talk with you and hearing your stories and your memories, and we truly appreciate your contributions to the Arizona drag racing lore. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I have a chance to sit and visit with you. And is there any parting thoughts you want to say, or?
No, it's just like I say, it's a lot of good people, and I just miss the people more than anything. But it's been a great time. A guy can't complain about everything that went on. There's some ups and downs, but everything was better than not.
Well, that's awesome. We really appreciate your time, Euell, and you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.